Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Freedom Link on your protection from deception, TFRlive.com. I'm Joe Joseph, along with Kev Baker, who decided, hey, you know what? Why not just stay for 3 hours? That's what I'm talking about. What's up, buddy?
Dude, forget MAGA. I'm going to make Joe cool again. Forget making America great again. I'm just going to make you cool again.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you know I love hanging out with you, dude.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Oh,
That's great.
You know, we've got you with your Irish accent. Ella, who's got a radio show here, and I do her YouTube channel. She's taking it upon herself to get the Scottish accent. No,
she's trying. Is that right?
Failing as miserably as Joe Joseph. But I found that Canadians, Don Wiskin, man, oh man, he's got it all going on when it comes to getting the Scottish brogue on, dude. And I think it's because those Canadians, they like to roll their R's as well from time to time.
Polly Nation says, ha ha ha, not even Irish. Yeah, I get it.
It's terrible, man. Terrible.
My mother's maiden name is Murphy.
Cool, dude.
It doesn't get it much more Irish than that.
America wouldn't be where it is today without the Irish and the Scots.
I wish I had a beer.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
But I found when I was over there, dude, compared to my English colleagues, I found that, the American people, and we met a diverse crowd at Disney World and things. It wasn't just Floridians like Popeye, but they absolutely loved the Scots.
It's a melting pot down there, but you don't get much Scottish accent here in the state.
They loved it, dude. I mean, they loved it. It was crazy. It was good fun, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got some stuff. Let's mainstream media, right? They're always so good at making sure we know what's going on in the world.
Aren't they just?
Well, FTV Live, which is kind of like a site that it's kind of like the TMZ of TV news. They're saying that CNN's about to they're looking at laying off as many as 300 employees, many being older employees with years at the network. They're trying to purge all their high salary people.
Well, how long, Joe?
They're saying that 200 people are going to get pink slipped, and then 100 are going to be offered a buyout. So, it's a massive drain over at CNN.
Well, this is just going to be the start of a new trend, I think, bro, because you think of what we've seen in China and what we've seen in Russia, not of such a good quality in Russia, admittedly, but AI news presenters, AI churning out news stories.
What a great point.
Yeah, this is going to be the new model. Why have 300 people doing a crap job right like it is right now when you could just have AI churning out this,
AI has been writing articles for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember one it was an LA newspaper, and it was talking about it was a storm or an earthquake. Just a 3, just something basic. But what it demonstrated was the fact that you couldn't tell the difference between a human reporter and the AI telling you the story. It had all the where, when, why, how, who, and that was it. You couldn't tell.
There's no difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't tell. You can't tell. What a good, here we are talking all the time about how the low-paying jobs are under threat by automation and artificial intelligence. Like you go to McDonald's now and they've got the kiosks. Instead of going to the counter, you just go to the screen, order your food, and then you don't have to interface with a cashier. Same at a lot of these convenience stores. You don't have to interface with a cashier. You've got self-checkouts at your big retailers, like a Walmart or a Target. So, I mean, they're phasing out low-income stuff, but this is a great example of how they're also phasing out jobs on the higher income and the professional side of things as well. So not just blue collar. You're talking a lot of white collar positions are being axed by the advancement of this technology. So let's think about it for a minute. So you talked about like fast food and some of the lower income stuff. Let's muse about some industries or some jobs that can be phased out with this technology. So, like, one that comes to mind for me is banking. Wall Street. You got algorithms that can do things so much faster and so much more accurate than people, and you don't have to pay for it, Kev. You know, once you pay for that license, it's yours. You know.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I think, algorithms, AI,
Yeah.
they're going to impact every level of the workplace, every level of society, and especially diving down the rabbit hole I have been doing, preparing for tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
More and more you hear this thing about how literally one algorithm, it's going to be the last thing we ever invent. Because after that point, the AI itself, it will be coming up with new inventions, new experiments, creating agents of its own to go and
Yeah.
simulate things. And again, it'll be the last invention we come up with, because anything else we invent after that, the AI will already have thought of it and already have trumped it.
Yeah. Let's see. What's another one? How about teachers?
Yep, big time.
Don't need teachers anymore.
You see them already, AI assistants in the classroom. I can dig up a story on that. That's already starting to roll out.
Yep.
You've got
Yeah.
them in the judiciary system as well.
Yeah.
California, you've got people who have weed charges, like felonies. That's all been taken off their kind of rap sheet now because of a law that got changed. And to speed
Yep.
up the process, you just go into like a town hall at the weekend. There's pro bono lawyers there. They put your name in. The algorithm does the rest, and that's you removed from the system. Saves months. It usually takes about 6 months to get your records expunged like that, but not anymore. So even the sentencing of people now, you're seeing the algorithms being used because they say they're less biased, but they're not, because when you look at, especially in America, if you look at historic data, black people have always been treated worse when it comes to sentencing and when it comes to
Right.
things like the law. So the AI learns from that data, and then you've got a black guy and a white guy goes in on exactly the same day, charged with exactly the same things exactly. And because it's learned from that historic data, there's a good chance the black guy's going to jail for 12 months or 24 months longer than the white guy. So the biases that have existed in the past,
It's
Joe,
it's
there's,
built into the AI.
yeah, it's only as good as the
Wow.
data it learns from.
Right. Wow. That's heavy.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that's reported here in the States, I don't know about over there, is doctor shortage. Don't worry about it anymore. Remember that holographic doctor on Star Trek?
Yep.
How come we can't have that now? You think about it, right? Now, all of a sudden, you have, like we just said, news anchors that you can't tell the difference if it's a real person or if it's computer generated, artificial intelligence. Why not have that translate over to an algorithm that learns to be a doctor? Starts amassing all this data, starts learning. Um, I mean, they already have robots that do brain surgery in like 20% of the time that it takes a brain surgeon to do it. You know, I think there was one time recently I read that it went horribly wrong and the robot turned into a blender.
Well, think of this as well. I was going over something, about a typical day in 2050. And it was like one of these think tanks. It was from Ericsson, the technology
Yeah.
company. It's all
Right.
philosophers and things like that. And they were saying, they were speculating about your work day in the future. And one of them was a young doctor. And when they got to work in the morning, they would take over from their avatar double. And this was an AI robot that had obviously been sideloaded with everything that doctor knew himself personally anyway. And obviously, because the doctor, physical human doctor, can't work 24/7, you just leave your AI avatar to work in your place. So that's one kind of novel way that we could see things changing in the medical world. Nanobots as well, AI taking control of all of that. Pharmacies, a thing of the past, right? Because you'll have the drugs delivered in your system.
Exactly. I mean, It doesn't get. That's just it's crazy.
But
But that's
true.
we're
Yeah.
here. This is where we are. You know, we're not. I think 2050 is like,
No, that's what I was saying on the show as well. 2050,
you know.
very they've been
Well, we
very
always do that
generous.
though.
Yeah.
We always, whenever we visualize the future, we always say, oh yeah, it's 200 years into the future. This is what we look at Star Trek, right? Half the stuff on Star Trek is obsolete now. It's like, okay, so we don't have warp drive yet. Maybe.
Look
Maybe the
how look
reptoids
how
gave
long
it to
ago though that was filmed, the original stuff, and how much time they looked. They spent looking down at handheld devices and things, Joe.
Oh yeah,
Long
yeah.
before they were ever, in the real world. Yeah.
I still think the reptoids gave us warp drive, and
No
they just
danger. That's twice reptoids have been mentioned tonight on my show and on yours. I need a bell or something, dude. This is a big night. This is the eve of Geordie, after all.
I know. That's why I gotta throw in my
Is it
little
like a
festival thing.
tsunami of reptoids coming from the altar to the alien gun?
That's right. Yes, the monolith.
Oh yes, indeedy, the monolith. Eh?
Oh
But no,
my.
all joking aside, that's the impact.
Yeah.
Pilots will be gone. You already see. I mean, what do pilots do once it's taken off and landed anyway? Usually, they could literally put their feet up. They could chill out because more and more of the flight's controlled by computers. And just like the autonomous cars, that system works best if every plane's autonomous because they're all talking to each other. So theoretically, you would never have any kind of mid-air near collisions, anything like that, because it's all on the one network, all on the one system, all connected to that one central AI that'll be doing all these other jobs that we've talked about as well.
Oh yeah. Which brings me to my next point. Is it necessarily a bad thing? And the reason why I say that is because I don't like working like a dog. Now, if I
No.
don't have to, what's the problem with that?
And how many times have we said, it's crap working for the man, having to pay taxes, we should be able to do what we want, do what we enjoy,
Right.
do more fulfilled lives, things like that. Yeah, I hear you, dude. And people are going to think this is so controversial, but it's something I think, and I'll get your thoughts on it, Joe, but we're made in God's image, right?
Sure.
And everything, all of our inventions, I would imagine, come from what we've had bestowed upon us in our intelligence, the way our brains can work, our
That's it.
ingenuity.
Just think about what God said before he destroyed the Tower of Babel, right? He said, if I don't destroy this thing and confuse the languages, there's nothing that man is not capable of doing. Think about that. There's nothing that we aspire to that we won't accomplish. That's basically what he said. So the capability is certainly there. The problem is we never implement it right because we've got the bad side of humanity to go along with the good side. So here we are, we envision this AI run world as this utopian vision, but it never ends up that way. It ends up being like RoboCop in Detroit, It's like, it's going to be dystopian. It won't be utopian. That's the problem. It's a deception. It's a lie.
And that's first and foremost because the intent behind it's not to empower us, right? It's to control us.
Right. But it has the capability of empowering us.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean, this is the kind of thing that really could eradicate. I mean, let's be serious. This could eradicate diseases and illnesses that we still scratch our head at.
That's right. And among other things, I mean, you're talking about free energy. You're talking about just a whole host of things that we can, utilize to free ourselves. But that's not what ends up happening. And that's the problem. Like I was saying, you're AOC. I know. Yeah. She may be batshit crazy, but she talks about things that need to be talked about. And one of the major things that need to be talked about is what do we do when money is obsolete? Because there will come a point in time when the technology will make it so. If you have free energy, if you have the ability to do energy matter conversion or to print things and not have to pay for it because there's no need because everything's free and we're doing that kind of stuff, all I can say is at that point, who cares about money? But now, what do you do? How do we transition? These transitions never go well. Humanity has a horrible time managing it. So I look at it and I'm like, man, this is bad news.
Before money goes away, Joe, we're going to be forced onto the blockchain very, very soon.
Very, very soon. You have multiple countries now that are doing away with cash. Although I think it was.
Can you imagine the gap in the data that would leave, though, like for the AI?
What happens? What happens if there's an EMP? Then what? Has anybody even considered solar flare? Poof! Oh crap! We can't buy or sell. Damn. That's one of the things that the government there in Belgium or whatever is saying. Hoard cash. You might need it one day. You never know. Well, then why did you stop printing it? It's ridiculous. I mean, I get it. Technology's advancing, but good grief. It bothers me. Yeah. So the mainstream media is really taking a freaking wallop, and that's good. And we talk about technology. One of the major things I was talking about is this hate incident reporting app. According to Mass Private Eye, it says soon free speech will be a thing of a past in a paranoid America. Well, it's already a thing of the past. It says STREAMLABS hate incident reporting app promises to turn complete strangers into secret hate speech bias spies. Watch what you say, because the person sitting next to you could be reporting you to law enforcement. Gone, my friends, are the days when Americans were unafraid to voice their opinions or make snide comments in public, because STREAMLABS will turn smartphones into bias reporting devices. That's right. Fizz.org, one of my favorite places. Highlight STREAMLABS' new app that allows strangers to report someone for exercising their First Amendment rights. Listen to this description. The first of its kind, the app accepts reports beyond crimes captured in police records. Users from around the country can document all incident types, from derogatory epithets written in bathrooms to slurs yelled from a car window, in addition to violent assaults. The app,
dude,
will make,
this is more widespread than you think. I done a Google search here and I'm looking at it. We've got them all over, like the individual police forces in the UK as well. I had no clue.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah, the app will make swearing at a fellow motorist or flipping someone off hate speech.
Oh, wow.
That's right. So.
Words are weapons, Joe. Words are weapons.
That's right. Since 9/11, Homeland Security's tried to turn the entire country into homegrown spies with their See Something, Say Something campaign that essentially does the same thing as STREAMLABS' hate reporting app. If someone sees something or sees someone acting suspiciously, why, you're encouraged to report it to law enforcement. But the University of Utah's hate incident reporting app promises to create a federal free speech blacklist. Listen to this. The major problem we're dealing with is that hate crimes are so underreported, not only to police, but from police to the federal government. This is according to Emily Nicolosi, researcher, and Richard Medina, professor of geography. This is another problem. You have these academics that are doing this. That's a huge problem. Now, creating a national blacklist of people who use derogatory epithets and slurs will turn this country into China. And that's exactly what they over there have an array of different apps that you could use, certainly a reporting system, and you report it to the AI, and the AI spits out. For example, we went over this the other day about how, based on your activity, the AI will deem you a risk and you'll get a visit. Or perhaps you'll go to a re education camp to get your wits about you and make cheap trinkets.
And the social media, I think you would agree, Joe, is turning into a digital, invisible re education, behavioral adjustment camp, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You caught me at it on YouTube. You know, I've been thinking I'm clever trying to get away around the algorithm using acronyms. But in reality, there I am changing what I would do normally. And
You're self censoring out of fear.
Yep, it slowly pushes you to a place where it wants you to go. You might think
knew,
you're going.
And by the way, this was all part of the plan.
Oh, absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. No, while you're talking about that one there in Utah, I found another one here. This comes from West Yorkshire in the UK. And it's Stop Hate UK is proud to announce the launch of the new hate crime reporting app for West Yorkshire. Here's just a taste of what some of the features of what our new app can do.
Let me know.
Get this right. Allow pictures.
Preach it.
Allow pictures, video, or audio recording to upload directly from the device. Easy to use with details of local resources and information about hate crime and discrimination. Links directly to leading independent organisation or directly to the police in an emergency hate situation. Allows a direct response to the person making the report and referrals to appropriate organisations. GPS enabled to help plot the exact locations of the incidents. Quarterly reports to monitor usage information and statistics. In other words, spy on your every move. And no pre-registration is required, so reports can be anonymous. Yeah, as anonymous.
Very nice.
As anonymous as a phone with your own GPS location on and your own phone number.
Exactly. Yeah. How anonymous is it? Just because we say it, I guess that's what it is, right?
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, they terrify me, Joe. I'm telling you, man, what's happened to us, dude?
Well, I'll tell you what's happened. We're just a bunch of freaking yellow-bellied
jellyfish, man. Spineless jellyfish. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, so what's the plan, right? So independent media starts up. People start to network. And they see that that's what's happening, right? But they know that at the same time, you know, in order for that to happen, there has to be a funding stream. And what you used to have to do is pound the pavement, get sponsors. It was a real pain. Let's streamline that. Let's get them hooked on this easy process. And that's what happened. A lot of people got hooked and they knew that was going to happen. And now they can hold it over people's heads. And that's what they do. And when they want to destroy somebody, it's very easy for them to do it. All they have to do is demonetize, done. Look at what they've done to Jones. I mean, are you telling me that should be okay? I certainly don't think so, regardless of how you feel about him. It's not okay. These social media platforms, like I said, are holding the well-being of that organization hostage. And they knew that this was going to happen. They knew it, and this was the plan. That's why it's very important that you do whatever you can to make sure you maintain your independence, because this is a very, very easy way for them to control. So that's what they do. And that's what it is, Kev. It's self-censorship. Now, all of a sudden, I can't say that.
No, you're right there. So please remember, visit my Patreon page.
That's right,
I'm
Patreon
joking,
page.
Folks. No, but you're so right, Joe. You really are so right.
It is.
And before we go to the break, though, I found a new one for you. This is a new one on me, dude. This was just a link away when I was on the hate crime page in the UK. Get a load of this, folks. Many of you out there, we've all heard of hate crime, right? But how many people have heard about #MateCrime?
What?
Mate crime is befriending vulnerable people and exploiting them physically, emotionally, or financially. Don't let people suffer in silence, or please don't suffer in silence. Report learning disability, hashtag hate crime, and hashtag mate crime 24/7.
Oh my gosh.
Hashtag mate crime.
Mate crime. That's certainly a freaking Scottish app.
Oh,
Mate crime.
hey, I'm proud to say that
Here,
came from the
here they
English.
just call it. That's another word for rape. Here, that's what happens.
What's
We'll be
happened to the
right
world?
back. We'll be right back. We gotta go take a break.